Not the Chuddle.
Chuddle.
This movie sounds awful.
I'm sorry, guys.
Surprise.
Boiled down.
Hello, Chuddle Club members. Welcome to a brand new boiled down meeting of the Chuddle the Pod Horror Movie Club. Tonight, we swallow your souls as we chuddle 2023's Evil Dead Rise. Joining us tonight are two of the boys from the Nightclub. We got Travis Maxwell Boone and Grindhouse Zombie joining us once again. We were hoping Rickles was going to jump in, but he's a sick boy on his birthday, so we wish him to feel better and, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Ricky. And thank y'all for having us on. Really,
of course.
Really love being here with these Chuddle boys.
Well, we know you guys love the Evil Dead and the whole franchise and stuff, so we figured, hop on in while we get this boiled down out and get it on top of everything. So, quick shout out to the Coven again, real quick. I will want to say, because I think this comes out before it actually changes going forward, you're going to notice that we're not going to do the individual which name shout outs. It just goes out to, hey, Coven, we love you. We thank you for your sacrifice. It gives us life, and we thank you, beautiful souls.
Yes.
Because,
that's correct.
presumably it's going to be it's super blown up. So we don't want a full episode where we just say everyone's name and then it's an hour and a half in.
You have to do a whole episode
Right.
one time where you just do all the Coven
Well,
members.
here's your, anytime, new people join up, we're going to still anoint which names and, announce it and all that kind of fun stuff on it. But we just want to get it into the episode and into the content quicker, and that's how we can do it right now. So that's tonight. Evil Dead Rise.
Boom.
We made it. Written,
Evil
directed by
Dead
Lee Cronin.
Rise.
Yeah, it's
Anything else?
I'd
from this
say
guy?
not really. I looked into it. He has a bunch of shorts. He's from Ireland, Dublin, I believe, but I didn't see much really. Nothing that I recognize, but it's a lot of short stuff. So I'm like, how did this happen?
He made the Hole in the Ground. That's his initial film, and after Sam Raimi saw that, he handpicked, much like he did Fede Alvarez for the 2013
Gotcha.
kind of remake thing. He handpicked Lee Cronin to do this.
Well, there you go. That's how he got into it. Do you want to do a little bit of a gore-meter real quick? 'Cause I think it'd be fun.
Yeah. Oh, this one definitely needs a gore meter.
It's time for the gore. Fatality.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
What are you giving this one here?
So I think this might break the gore meter. Be like a case where it's not right, because I feel like you got to give it a 10, right?
Yeah, it's a 10.
I think
Even though
so.
it's not
Oh,
there
wow.
for the whole movie.
Right.
You don't
it's-
think so?
Yeah.
It's I don't
Grindhouse
know.
disagrees.
No, I think it's like a 47 on the Garometer. It's though to Sam's point, it maybe is not there every second of the movie.
Mhm.
When it's there, Jesus, is it over the top? And that's
Yeah, and there's still enough of it that it
Yeah.
kicks it up all the way.
I think
Correct,
it hits
yeah.
the 10 category for sure. This is
Yeah.
definitely in there. There was 6,500 liters or 1,720 gallons of fake blood was used for the movie.
Damn,
supposedly the most ever, as I'm hearing, the most ever used in one scene of a movie.
I
Yeah.
believe it. I wouldn't doubt that for a minute, to be honest.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's up there neck and neck with It Chapter 2, because they do a similar thing in that film where an area fills up with a lot of blood.
A lot of blood. Sure. And
Correct.
that definitely, well, we're going to get into super spoilers in a moment. So we're still pre-spoiler territory. So if you're still sticking on with us, we're not going to
Yeah, we
shout
should
out
mention
anything
that,
quite
by
yet.
the way.
I know. I always forget. I'm like, I'm going to put it in there and I'm going to do it tonight. Tonight's the night. All right. So yeah, definitely a 10. If you want to
Yeah.
avoid gore, this is not the movie for you.
Mhm.
No, not even a little bit.
But speaking of, who is the horror for?
Gorehounds.
Gorehound Evil Dead fans?
Big
Yeah.
time.
Mhm.
Yeah, gore fans, obviously Evil Dead fans, zombie
Possession,
fans.
Zombie.
Yeah, and I always say it's a possession at its heart. It's a possession film, but
Mhm.
it doesn't come off as a possession film like a lot of the other Evil Dead does. It has a lot to me. I mean, it's in there, Evil Dead, right?
Mhm.
So it comes off to me more as a zombie movie. So like if you're loving movies like, say, like the Wreck series,
Oh, sure.
anything zombie, it's more in that vein than it is a traditional possession movie where you've got one or two people that are possessed and stalking around and doing whatever else. It's more of a zombie movie to me. Kind of always has been.
I'd also say if you like folk horror and witchy horror, there's enough of that in there with this ancient book, because that's the premise of the whole series, is it revolves around an ancient book, perhaps plural, that incantations and manifestations of demons, and so witchy and folky too.
Yeah,
if you're down with that.
Therein for me lies the problem, but we will get to that in a little bit.
All right.
Fantastic. And who's it not for? Again, people don't want to see gore.
Like
vomit.
It's not
a metaphobe warning
heavy
for sure.
Yeah.
Lamos. It's not for lame. It's
it's not for a horror rookie. This is not the first horror movie you're gonna watch.
This is not for beginners. Yeah,
because you're never gonna watch another horror movie again, ever. So don't start.
You'll never be satisfied. You'll be chasing that dragon for a while.
Exactly, right?
If it's the gore that turned you on.
And if like the stuff that's after this, the high you're looking for, I don't want. That's like territory I don't want to go into.
Well, that's exactly it, though. This is not the movie. I mean, this is not your gateway drug. Okay, this is not the marijuana, right? Okay, this is mainlining fentanyl and hope that you survive. That's what. So you definitely don't want to start here.
I mean, I don't know about y'all's theater experience, but there were definitely some younglings in my theater that seemed pretty young for it, with their parents and stuff too, and they stayed. Enjoyed it, presumably.
Yeah, my theater experience. I saw this opening day, and there were some guys in there that sat right in the front and kept commenting, and I told them, "Hey, shut up, shut the fuck up," and they shut the fuck up, and then eventually left.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so fuck them.
I actually had a dude right next to me that was kind of like mansplaining all of the trailers to the two girls next to him the whole time. So that was interesting. And then when got in his like fun little jokes throughout the whole movie. So that was interesting to listen to.
Yeah, I was in a row. Like I usually have either my D10 seat or my E1 seat. Those are the seats that I always pick. And so I was in my E1. The rest of the entire row was a whole giant group of dude bros that were obviously, well, from what they were talking though, they were obviously all horror fans, and they tried to see a lot of movies together, and they yapped like a motherfucker through the trailers. And I was like, oh boy, I'm gonna be fighting 12 guys by the end of this thing. And to their credit, when the movie started, they shut the hell up, and they stayed shut the hell up. So nice. I was happy.
I find trailers to be the yappy time.
Which is fine with me.
Exactly.
But
totally.
Whatever.
It can be where you get to know your neighbor time, and sometimes your neighbor's a yappy motherfucker and he won't shut up. So
that Evil Dead precursor right there, where you're like, please don't do this the whole movie. Yeah,
exactly.
All in all, I had a great theater experience though, and seeing this on the big screen, center aisle, like center of the aisle.
Oh hell yeah!
Like it was amazing. It was amazing. And
it definitely looked good on screen. I'd recommend it.
It was my first Evil Dead in theaters. I haven't seen one
definitely
yet.
My first Evil Dead in theaters. We'll get into that in a second. Actually, right now, I mean, who picked it? Why? History, real quick. I mean, this is a boiled down. We had to jump on it, and I mean, it really kind of, I think, almost stemmed from the fact that within one day, I consumed almost all of Evil Dead for the first time. So I had never really ever seen the original 2 or the remake. I had seen Army of Darkness a lot. I grew up watching that one exclusively. I'm like, that's all I need for some reason. And sure. I haven't watched Ash versus the Evil Dead or anything, but yeah, so I watched all of that.
Get ready.
That's a good series.
Yeah. It's on the list now. I definitely want to check it out. I'm on board.
It shouldn't be a good series, but it is a great series.
That's awesome to hear. So I jumped in, and then I was talking to Sam about it, and then we just, started to get this going. So that's my history real quick with it. I know all of you have quite a much bigger one.
With Evil Dead in general?
Yeah. I mean, real quick. Like, because I know because this movie's a big deal because of people's history towards it.
Sure.
movies.
Yeah. So in high school, I was like huge on Evil Dead, and I watched all 3 of the original a ton. And then probably, honestly, I haven't watched any of them in like 10 plus years. I've been wanting to rewatch them for this coming up. Actually, that's not true, because I got Evil Dead 2 on Blu-ray whenever that came out. But I didn't see 2013 because at the time when it was coming out, I was like, it's not fucking Evil Dead without Ash type of deal. And then I do want to watch it now. And then, so that was my history with the franchise going into this. I hadn't seen that one, hadn't seen the others in a while, but had the opportunity to go Thursday night. So I was like, well, fuck it. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do this if I can. And here I am talking about it with y'all now.
All right. Yeah. Grindhouse.
Up to now is what you got.
My history with Evil Dead goes back to the 80s. I didn't see it in theaters because I was just way too young, but definitely it was in my stack of 10 growing up. I think everyone here knows what my stack of 10 was. So it was definitely in there. You know, with horror movies, it's like, I mean, there's a reality to it when you're a guy. It's like you see it for the blood because it's awesome, and you see it for the boobs because boobs are awesome. And
that's a drop.
But it was one of those movies where, and I think it was for the time, for the budget, for the genre, it was rare that you got into a movie and you immediately had a character that you loved, that you rooted for, and then carried over in 2 sequential follow-ups. And let's face it, in the first one, Ash was a little bit of a cornball. In the second one, he was a total cornball. By the third one, he was just short of wearing a jester hat, right? but the movies were just progressively more and more awesome as they went. The remake, I'm not a huge fan. Didn't do a lot for me. But yeah, I guess for me, I've been around kind of since the beginning.
That's awesome. Yeah, real quick, sorry, before I get to you, TB, I agree kind of with the 2013 remake. I liked it, but it's the weakest of it for me. I wouldn't be opposed to going back to it again. All right, boy.
Y'all already know Evil Dead is my favorite franchise. Evil Dead, the original, is my favorite horror film of all time. So I was super hyped for Evil Dead Rise. I love the whole franchise. I think they're all 10s, including this new one. And that's really all,
I love it.
That's all I got for it. Yeah.
No, that's no problem.
How long have you been how old were you when you started watching Evil Dead?
So for all the Chuddle listeners out there, all the Chuddle heads, I first saw the original Evil Dead when I was about 10 or 11 years old. My dad talked to me about it. He snuck into it when he was younger in the theater.
Nice.
And he was describing the scene in the original when the girls naming the cards but facing away, like how in the new movie in the beginning. Yeah. So and he said, I think it's called The Evil Dead. And I originally thought, what a stupid name for a movie. I went and rented it at my local video store. Miss Rita, she let me rent that shit. Yeah, thank you.
Shout out to Miss Rita.
Shout out to Miss Rita, R.I.P. And she let me rent that. And I went home and I was under my sheets, scared out of my mind. And oh my God, I was hooked, dude.
Nice.
I watched that movie a million times. Part 2, I love. Part 3, I love. Part 4, I'm going to say, I hope you do revisit it because I think it's dope. And it proves you don't need Ash in the series to make the series work. But Ash versus Evil Dead is amazing. So please, y'all, check that out if y'all haven't.
Hell yeah. And I think that is a great place to say, go ahead and check out the movie. Ooh, I got thunder rolling over here, so I don't know if you heard that. That'd be fun. Go check out the movie because now we're going to get into
Brian's about to get possessed.
Right? Watch out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What's that, Sam?
We'd been doing How Soon to See It. I would say try and see it in theaters just to support it and hopefully get more Evil Dead movies.
Oh, agree 1,000%. I hope this movie makes a million bajillion dollars, and I hope that we start getting them. Like Bruce Campbell recently came out and said they want to start doing them every 2 to 3 years and expand on the timelines, expand on the stories. And I know Ricky, who isn't here, but he loves feudal Japan. I want an Evil Dead set in feudal Japan. That would be so fucking dope.
It would be.
I'll take any horror set in feudal Japan. That'd be fun as hell. I think, I mean, I agree. I think go see it in theater. I thought it was really cool to see on the screen, to see
you'll never see this.
I mean,
much
we talked about the gore meter. To see a 10 level gore
meter
meter on the screen like that was really, really cool. So check it out. It's a really nice looking film. I think so. So let's go ahead and jump into the spoilers now. So you've had it. Let's do it. Spoiler zone. All right. Brief synopsis. A twisted tale of two estranged sisters whose reunion is cut short by the rise of flesh-possessing demons, thrusting them into a primal battle for survival as they face the most nightmarish version of family imaginable. That's from IMDb. But yeah, it's Evil Dead in an apartment building, and let's just kind of open the floor up.
What I love about this movie is that it expands on the lore. It ties back into Army of Darkness and gives us the 3 books that Ash first encountered in that cemetery. So now in this new Evil Dead film, we are told there are 3 books for sure that are out there somewhere. So the cabin in Tennessee is one of the books. This other book is in Los Angeles in this bank vault in Evil Dead Rise. Where's the 3rd fucking book? Who the fuck knows?
Feudal Japan.
I hope so. And I love that they expanded the lore and that I'm gonna go too crazy. Okay, let me dial it back. The opening of this film is a fucking 10. The chick levitating. Anytime levitation is in anything, I'm just like, oh my God.
It was a good levitation.
And it's cosmic. At that point, it's cosmic. And because
I don't know.
go ahead.
How's it cosmic, he's asking?
Oh,
what makes it at that point cosmic?
Because that's how I look at it. That's just it.
Okay.
It's just my version.
Okay.
If you're levitating, it's either witchy or cosmic or both. And to me, witchy and cosmic are both, because it's black magic, baby. It's Kandarian black magic. That's what this whole movie is full of. That's what this whole series is full of. And God damn, did it deliver! I'm so excited.
No, that's great. Yeah, no, I really like the opening, and then how it ties back. The opening's actually the ending.
The end.
Yeah. Which I think a few people, more than a few people in my theater did not understand, but but no, I certainly like that, and I had fun with that, and I did like the levitation and the whole title card and everything. But I mean, like you said, I think a lot of the homage stuff I really liked. I mean, we get a deadite ripping out an eyeball and spitting it into someone's mouth. That was definitely fun. The deaths and the kills were great. I will say, the cheese grater thing was so overhyped.
Yes.
I do agree with that.
Indeed.
Very disappointed.
I would have loved to have just like not known anything with the cheese grater was happening.
Exactly. I've been avoiding like trailers and everything for this for so long, and then I just couldn't help but know the cheese grater thing.
Yeah.
And
so
then the whole time I'm waiting for it, and then we get it, and I'm like, oh, whoa, okay, we got the leg. Now she's just gonna fucking attack her with it. I was like, oh no, that was it. Like
the fantastic thing about the trailer for this film is that it doesn't spoil anything about the movie. It literally shows you a few key, like maybe scenes that are meant to be trailer fodder. It doesn't tell you anything about the story. It doesn't give anything away. There's so much in this movie that if you watch the trailer, you're not gonna fucking know or see at all. Like at all. Cheese grater was overhyped, though. I will agree with that.
I'd be curious. I should watch the
disappointed.
trailer now, because I tend to disagree with like even just seeing anything about it. I don't. Care to.
Yeah, I watched the trailer. I've watched the trailer since and was like, I'm glad I didn't see all this. Like, not that it gave too much away, but just not having any preconceived notion or knowing what's coming, all that stuff.
Yeah, and that was probably smart. It did give a few things away. So my counterpoint to the opening of this film, is that it was completely unnecessary. It could have both the first 7 to 8 minutes and the last 7 to 8 minutes could have been completely chopped. The movie would not have been hurt by it. The only reason they did that damn intro was so they could give you that perspective of the demon, whatever else, flying through the woods, because there was no way they could have done that.
No. The only reason they did that intro was to get that bitch to levitate out the fucking water and say "Evil Dead Rise" over the mountaintops.
Yeah,
like glorious fucking epicness.
That's great. It was stupid to me. It was completely unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. Didn't need it at all. Didn't add anything to the movie for me. Nothing.
Well, I mean, it's just it was just a storytelling way of doing it and putting it in the front, but putting it in the back was a way to take our current situation, our current book or whatever possession is coming from this
out
one,
into the world,
and bring it from the apartment. And it's supposed to be taking place now in a wooded area again, so that if we were to go back into this,
understood completely. Yeah. But they did that with the opening of the bank vault and the playing of the record and discussing the 3 books. They did that. It wasn't necessary at all.
Moving this current, but
no, Brian's saying the story is going to move forward potentially in a sequel.
Understood, understood, but it didn't need to happen. They did that by saying there's 3 books. They did that.
But I'm saying it's this current book.
Yes.
Like those two other books are out there. This is the same book that we're focusing on that's moving from the apartment to the triangle house in the woods.
Yes.
As opposed to, and also, you have those other books out there, Ash's book doing its thing, or whatever the hell it is, in Feudal Japan book. Anyway.
No, and I'm completely understand that. What I'm saying is it didn't getting to the end of that movie. They could have ended it in a different fashion where it was obvious that the story was going to continue, because obviously the story is going to continue.
Right. All you needed to have was like a finger nail slide on the ground a little bit.
Anything.
Fundamentally, Grindhouse, you're not wrong, but the epicness of the beginning wins out.
But it was cool, so
yeah. And see, for me, it wasn't.
You don't like cool shit. That's cool.
I thought when the beginning, when we get that Evil Dead shot like through the woods, and then it comes out over the water, and I'm like, oh, they have I almost leaned to my buddy I was with him and like, oh, they have a drone they can do the shot with now, and then like a second later, it actually was a drone. Yeah.
Drone to the face. So speaking of, all the recordings and all that shit that play on the record, so that's where we get our Bruce Campbell cameo. He is one of the voices on the record, which
I didn't notice that.
Since I was watching Evil Dead all day, like I had his voice in my head, so I immediately picked it up. He says it's one of the 3 records that I called him a priest, but it might not necessarily be the case. IMDb has it listed as, and the first of the 3 records Danny plays, Bruce can be heard saying, "Destroy it. It's called the Book of the Dead for a reason." And at the Beyond Fest premiere, director Lee Cronin suggested Campbell could be playing Ash again in the recording.
Totally.
As the series had multiple instances of Ash going back in time and encountering, all the other shit.
Absolutely.
So I was like, oh, it's just one of these priests hanging out, is him doing it. But it could be Ash himself.
It's Ash.
Popped in there screaming about it. Yeah, I love that.
I like that.
Yeah. And here's my second big problem with this movie, and this is just me being an engineer. Cutting a record in 1923 was a pain in the ass, and I don't think anybody.
That record was made of blood and foreskin, right? Not wax.
I don't give a shit what it was made out of. Making a record in 1923 was a pain in the ass, and it took a really huge and impressive machine that was really expensive to do. So I don't think 3
You're furthering my point.
Clergy guys. Well, I get it. The cosmicism part of it, and fuck logic. I get all that. I'm just saying,
it's Evil Dead. Nothing matters.
They time traveled like an easier printing machine back to there. It just popped in.
They time traveled ahead to the new Metallica factory.
Time travel exists in this universe, so everything's fucked.
It's a Necronomic record, right?
Yes.
Necronomic. I don't know how to.
Necronomicurd.
It's the Nontarum. It's the Nontarum Divinal.
Yeah,
that's it exactly.
Anyway, for the engineer in me, that bugged me because I'm like, no. You
know what I thought about whenever they were spinning the record with one hand? I was like, they're really good at keeping pace for this, because it's not warbling or speeding up or slowing down at all.
Yeah, exactly.
That boy's finger game is on point. Good.
The aunt does it too.
Yeah, she just goes in and immediately knows how to do it.
Immediately does it.
Well,
which,
she's a
guitar tech.
She's a guitar tech.
Yeah, she was going to be the first woman in her field to make chief technician.
Yeah, that's funny. That part didn't bother me at all. It's like
it doesn't bother me either.
The kid was
funny.
The
spinning bothered me because I thought it would have added something to it, like almost a creepiness factor for it.
If you had some speed and pitch changes.
Yes,
exactly. I would agree with that. Yeah,
it did. It did do that.
It did not. Not when it was
even if it did, it wasn't noticeable enough to.
It did it not when they were doing it by hand. I guarantee you, because I wouldn't have.
He guarantees it.
Been a flag for me.
When he was guaranteed.
That's a Sam guarantee.
He was playing it backwards by finger. Yeah,
I watched it. I watched it wrong.
I think you did.
Sam guarantees it with a.
I love the record thing. That gave me Lords of Salem vibes, which I love that movie. I think it's Rob Zombie's actual best film, best made, not best film, but best made. And I like the creepiness of it's like the tape recorder from the original. It's this old thing. If they do another one, they could do one in the 80s, right? An 80s Evil Dead, like with the 80s aesthetic, and have someone put a little Walkman and it's a cassette, Like that would be that. I think that would be kind of cool too.
That
They
would
should
be
do
cool.
a cassette in feudal Japan with time travel, right?
Yes, they find it and like, what the hell is this shit?
Well, but
They
at
start
this,
playing it.
couple
this
samurais
point,
are like,
with-
we figured out how to make a cassette.
Damn,
Yeah.
arise.
with technology though, in the next movie, it's gonna be the guy's just gonna pull it up on Spotify and listen to it. That's what's gonna happen.
It's gonna like, check out. It's gonna
This
be on
is
a
so creepy.
SoundCloud.
Yeah,
It's gonna be on a podcast. He's gonna put on Chuddle the Pod.
Oh shit!
Gondar.
Is this how we?
Yeah.
This is how we get our way in. Start
Oh,
doing the thing,
God.
and then it'll be in
Yep.
the new movie. You said you wanted to get a. Well, you said you wanted to
I
get
do.
Chuddle the Pod into a Scream movie, but I'll take Evil Dead.
Any horror movie,
Any
really.
horror movie.
If I
If
go to
anyone
the
who's
theater and see our
listening-
So get
poster
to
in the
the-
background,
get to the end when we basically give our final thoughts, but play it backwards in the recording. And then anybody who wants to figure it out has got to figure out a way to play the recording backwards.
That's awesome.
So the Necronomicon itself, I thought it was fucking dope looking. How did you
Yeah.
feel about the actual aesthetic of the book?
it was fine. It didn't.
I thought it
I
was
didn't
cooler
love
than
it. I
any of
didn't
the
hate
other
it. It
ones
was
I've
fine.
seen.
Oh, not me. I like the old ones.
Yeah, I like the old one too.
I feel like y'all, like Grindhouse and Sam, I do like the old ones, but I like the it's something new. It's just another little new fresh thing.
It's a new
Yeah,
iteration.
I
It's a
wasn't
new
mad
iteration.
that it wasn't that. You know,
Mhm.
it's not like it's just.
For the
It's fine.
listeners, we're talking about the book has teeth now that clasp the book together, and the
Mhm.
only way to open it is to draw blood and bleed on the cover of the book. So when the young man who I guess he's the DJ, he's the guy that knows how to spin that
Danny.
record, Danny.
DJ
He-
Danny.
He gets his finger pricked and draws blood, and it falls on the cover of the book, and then the book opens up. And I was like, "Oh, that's so dope!" Like I was into it. But I gave
Yeah,
this a 10 from
yeah,
the
I
start.
like
Now,
the-
as an engineer, you can't make a book that does that,
Right?
Oh yes,
right,
you can.
Grindhouse,
Oh, you
tell us
totally
how
can.
fucking stupid this is, please.
No, I'm not. No. Here's the thing. I love the old book. I thought this was a really cool iteration of a new book, and it makes me wonder what the third book is going to look like. If we,
Ooh, yeah, that's a
Mhm.
good
but
point.
I also think we had 4 movies with the old book. So how many more movies
No.
do we get before we get to the new book?
Think about this though, and this is for all the Evil Dead heads out there. Every movie has a different book. Every movie has actually a different designed book.
Design.
Yes,
well,
if you go-
a different design, but the original book is the Necronomicon, and then when they talk about the 3 books, as
In-
I
in the-
under
in
as-
the original
Travis, as I understood it, each
okay,
one of them.
I'm gonna correct you when you're done.
No, as I understood it, each one of them had a different name. So
Nope.
this well, that's what I understood. Is the second book has a different name.
In the first movie, they call the book the Naturum de Monto. In this movie, they call it the Naturum de Monto.
Hmm.
The only reason people call it the Necronomicon is from part 2, and that's H.P. Lovecraft shit. The book is actually
Yeah.
called the Naturum
You will
de
never
Monto.
get the Necronomicon. Yes, that.
Depends on what you're watching.
And hashtag I watch these wrong, so I just want y'all to know
You
that.
did. Totally.
Yeah.
So what got it right for any of you?
Hmm?
I mean, what did you like? I mean,
Everything.
The gore was pretty great. Strong there. To be honest, I think unfortunately that might have carried a lot of the movie for me. I really need to watch it a second time now that I know the tone and everything that it was doing.
mhm.
Because it struck some Evil Dead tones, but not totally either. It was kind of doing its own thing as well. So it may have taken me a minute to find that balance because I found it very slow to start and just sort of snowballed and got better and better for me. But by the end, everything is completely soaked in blood and we get this like giant creature getting sucked into like a wood chipper thing
Mhm.
with the part then getting rain and blood from the thing. So it's like, is that why I liked it? Or is there more to like about this
Well,
movie when
back
nothing's
to-
really happening?
If you like
So-
Raining Blood, you're gonna love the 2013.
Oh fuck yeah!
Oh
yeah.
my
It's-
god.
so I felt
dude.
that was a little homage to the 2013 was when she gets rained in blood.
Yeah. 2013 version actually Slayer's Rain in Blood should have been playing at the finale of that fucking
Agreed.
movie.
Agreed. Yeah. Well, but to Travis's point about it, like kind of almost imposing the dream logic on this movie. I mean, okay, an old, soon-to-be abandoned apartment building in Los Angeles has a wood chipper in the parking garage.
It's just someone
Right.
who lives
Yeah,
there.
totally.
And that's
No.
their equipment.
But
That's
so,
it.
so Sam and I talked about this in the Discord. We chatted about it. For me, the first time I watched it, and I've thought about it, and as I thought about it, honestly, my score has gone up. But you could take about 7 minutes of this movie out, and it would have no attachment to the Evil Dead series. It could have been any other horror movie about possession and zombies / demons / whatever else. It didn't have Evil Dead written all over it for me. Now there was a couple of the gags that were cool. The eyeball obviously goes back, but it wasn't oozing Evil Dead to me.
Yeah. Well, I have that exact opposite opinion, and it's not to be argumentative. I just feel like this movie is oozing Evil Dead through and through. There's so many callbacks. It fits right in line because what this movie does is it blends the seriousness of part 1 and the remake with the comedy of part 2 and Army of Darkness, where it gives you the character development. The movie does start slow to a degree, but I think the character development is worthwhile. And you do actually, I cared about the kids, and I saw the interactions and the family. And I'm like, oh, cool, man. What is this movie going to do? I didn't think it was actually going to go as far as it did, because this movie kills children, teenagers, but they're children, and they're age appropriate for their roles. So they're kids.
Age appropriate for murder.
For murder.
Yeah, well, yeah, but in this day, in this day and age, teenagers.
Oh my god!
Thrown against the wall.
The kid in the hallway, when we see his body fly against the wall, armless and slumped down, I laughed so hard, and I felt like almost weird because like some people in the audience were laughing and other people were not laughing.
Right.
And
I was laughing
every time we saw that fucking little kid in the hallway, armless, slumped over, I like laughed because it's so ridiculous. It's just so over the top. So yeah, they hit the tone well for humor in the gore factor.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, metaphorically in this movie, there's a lot of similarities to the original series. I mean, they traded a trap door for a front door, right? They still have the mom wanting to get in. They still had people on the inside, be taken over. So I mean, there's some deep things there for me, but like just for me, the overall tone of the movie, I honestly I believe this. You could have taken like 8 minutes or so out, and it could have been any other movie. It was still enjoyable. I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed it, but it didn't have the stink of Evil Dead on it to me.
I think part of that is we've never had a family before as like, here's our cast. Here's who we're going to follow for the movie.
Not true. In because you haven't seen it. In the 2013 movie, the two main characters are a brother and a sister. And what the new movies are doing.
But is that parents and their kids? I mean, that's
a
very different
family,
dynamic.
But it's
dynamically, it's way
different. Yeah. But I mean, I agree in this. I mean, yes, I agree with both of your points. It doesn't ooze Evil Dead in the way of you traditionally thought of Evil Dead, but I definitely felt Evil Dead out of it. Like, again, I'm in this very weird, fresh
I'm with you
bubble with it. And I think it's just a way of trying to propel the series forward into something newer and fresher, necessarily.
Making it like a franchise where they're really going to give us a shit ton of movies. Because like my whole life, pretty much, by the time 2013 came out, I wasn't going to see it. Like forever, there had only been 3 Evil Dead things for me, really. And then Ash versus Evil Dead, is that the show?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ash versus Evil Dead. Yep.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. Like by the time that came out, that was like so far past me being heavy into Evil Dead, that to me, there's only ever been this 3. So if this kicks off like a whole thing and they do it where what I would love is different directors doing different types of stories. Like, sorry, Lee Cronin, this was great. I'll see other stuff you did or whatever. But like, I don't need you helming Evil Dead. I would like to see them picking cool directors to tell different types of Evil Dead stories.
That's exactly what they're going to do, actually. What you're saying is what they plan to do.
Well, I hope it happens.
Yeah,
Sam Raimi is the guy in charge, and he wants to make it to where every film is a new artist telling an Evil Dead story through their lens. That's what he wants the franchise to be.
I love that more now, and I've always thought about it, and I think it was Sam who probably made me put this perspective into my head sometimes with a lot of like either remakes or different things with movies. It's like I used to read so many different comic books by so many different artists and so many different iterations, and how it was always like, the same character being told in all these different stories, and I never had a problem going to a different story
with a different writer, or a different artist,
or a different artist. So that just kind of
they're all doing their version
their thing,
of it.
and I can enjoy each one in its own different way. And sometimes it's going to hit sometimes it won't. I mean, just for who it is. So I used to be in that more mindset of course, I remember, I think one of my, when 18, 19, however years old, when the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remakes came out, I was very in the mindset of this is actual bullshit. It's one where he gets his arm cut off.
That.
I was
This is
like,
the first one.
that would never happen to fucking Leatherface. This is this is stupid.
Yeah,
like how dare they do all that nonsense? I'm like, why the fuck was I like that? I should have just enjoyed it.
So I was like, oh, I like it.
Yeah,
Right?
I snuck into that movie. I bought a ticket to School of Rock, which is now one of my favorite movies of all time.
Great movie.
And yeah, it's a great movie. And but me and my friend Hunter snuck into Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, and my God, that movie fucked me up. And I loved the original. Even at that point, I had already seen the OG Texas, so I was really excited. And yeah, I loved it. Him getting his arm cut off. God damn it.
Well, and maybe this is the part where part of what Sam said, part of what Brian said, and part of what Travis said actually makes a lot of sense. Thinking about the 2000 remake or 2013 remake and how I didn't really care for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then seeing the series Ash versus the Evil Dead, which had Evil Dead coming out of every fucking pore.
Sure.
So maybe that might be a piece of why I'm kind of in a place of like, it's kind of like that oil slick on the river. I wanted to see it a little more plainly. So that makes really fair.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair to say. That's fair to say.
Because I tried to prep myself into this because I feel like for whatever reason I felt it had that more serious tone and I knew the 2013 went that way. So I went in watching 2013 right before to almost get my mindset set for something a little bit different. And I think that helped.
You're right. And I thought this would be a more serious version too. I was pleasantly surprised when they blended as much of the humor into the story as they did. And again, based on what everyone else is saying, hashtag, I think I did watch it wrong with what everyone's saying, but hashtag, I watched it right. Evil Dead head for life, cuz this is an Evil Dead movie. Fuck y'all.
Well, and that's the thing, though. That's the thing, Travis.
No,
the humor, the humor. There was only a couple of spots for me that I found "quote unquote" humorous. The humorous didn't read for me, so it's interesting.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
I feel like the punches of the humor aren't as like bam and pow as the original stuff is. They tried to hit with some humor, but again, keep it in the more tone of it to try to move it on. But
the humor in the originals was always a scene stealer, and it always kind of like had something of we'll call it a humorous conclusion. In this one, the eyeball popped out and the guy choked to death and fell on the floor, and that was it. Like, okay, that's like,
sure,
I laughed.
Sure,
I laughed.
I laughed a little bit, but it was like I was waiting for the punchline of the joke, and I never got it. That was my thing. The original Evil Deads were good at giving you the punchline. This one, the humor didn't do that, so it didn't read for me.
Sure. That makes sense. All right, so I think that's a good place to end this little bit of the conversation on, and I just want to wrap up with a few quick questions to take us out for tonight. Would we survive?
No.
I don't think I'm getting out of this one.
No.
How are you going to rate your villain on this one? 1 to 10.
10 out of 10. What's her name? Alyssa Sutherland?
I gave her a
I
7.
think that's right. Yeah, 7. I was gonna go 8. So
I feel like I could have been pushed
in
towards
that
an 8.
range. Yeah.
She's the perfect Deadite mama, and she.
I
is
need
creepy
another
as
watch
fuck.
for sure.
Right,
Creepy
exactly.
Whole movie, it was a solid 10 for me up until she became the Thing, and then
I loved her as the Thing.
I did not. I liked how it sort of came together, but once it was like the Anamorphous blob, it just it lost me.
I like that.
It made me laugh.
It was like a big old
when
Belial.
it first started running towards her. Oh man!
I like that I like that the book shows you as it goes, kind of like how the 2013 version did. None of the other films did this. They show you as the book turns the pages, like what's gonna happen, and finally, when you get the amalgamation of Grindhouse is saying it's the Thing, but I liken it more to like what did I say in Discord? Oh fuck.
I don't know.
Jump in the Discord, you can
either.
find out.
You say a lot of shit in Discord. I can't follow it all.
Anyway, I enjoyed it. This final creature. Oh, it's a lot like Color Out of Space, an upcoming Chuddle episode.
Yeah, we haven't watched it yet, so
well, y'all will see, and I think y'all will see what I saw.
And I loved the book, and I loved how they did that, but I was a little bit torn on the spoon feeding aspect of it. I was a little bit torn. here's what's next. I was a little torn. I'm just me. I was a little torn. Like don't. I mean, give me a glimpse, but don't tell me the whole thing.
Does this deserve a sequel? You guys want to see a sequel? I definitely.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
fucking right. Yep.
Yeah.
And is anything action figure worthy? I would say yes. I'd take a Mama Deadite. That looked pretty cool. I'd take the Mama thing.
I would take a blood-soaked main auntie at the end.
Auntie, for sure.
Yeah, auntie with
chainsaw.
her wild eyes and her chainsaw.
Oh, I did think it was
wielding.
funny when she picks it up to leave. She's like, I'm gonna hang on to this for posterity to remember that time I like chopped up my sister who was this monster and pushed her into a
I took it as like
with a chainsaw.
I think I'm just gonna take this just in case anything pops up.
You don't know who you're gonna have to chop up in the streets,
like, why am I gonna just walk around without a chainsaw? Do you know what the hell I just went through?
Fucking
point.
I would take a small little set of the lobby where the elevator doors open and the 4,000 gallons of blood comes out.
Oh, yeah, like a pump system, interactive.
The only
Can we talk about that real quick?
The only problem is that I saw that once before and it was in The Shining.
That's what I wanted to say. Can we talk about this?
I like this one better
way
than The
more,
Shining.
Way more.
Yeah.
I liked it more. I liked it more. It was way more effective. The whole thing was way more effective. But I had seen it.
I get what you're
before.
saying. Anything any
an
blood
homage.
elevator will immediately give
but
you
done better. I mean, I'm totally fine by that.
Shining vibes.
That's
I've
what I
seen
wanted to
Evil
say.
Dead before, but I came to see another Evil Dead movie.
No, and I agree. But when I'm watching a movie in the theater and I see a scene that immediately takes me to another movie, it's like for me, it takes me out of my like zone for a second, and it's
sure.
That's fair.
I got to swallow hard and move on. I get that, but it's like. Yeah.
So gore, I want to nominate the elevator scene for gore and the wood chipper scene for gore.
I'd nominate the wood chipper scene for sure.
Okay.
This wood chipper scene is way better than the wood chipper scene in Halloween Ends. Way better. Well,
Yeah,
it's a
for
different.
sure.
It's not a wood chip. It's
Everything
not a wood
about
chipper,
this
but
movie
it's
is better than Halloween Ends.
Yeah, I was gonna.
I agree with that.
I was gonna say I went to bed drunk last night. The bowel movement I had this morning was better than Halloween Ends. Okay,
I don't agree with that, but I agree.
I know
with,
you don't.
Well, your relief probably, but
No, this movie, the blood was super effective. They did a good job
It
of
had a
making
good
it.
color and like viscosity.
Yep, it was bright, it was sticky, and it was somehow perpetually dripping, which was awesome. Yep.
I want to nominate Deadite
I'm
Mama.
perpetually dripping myself.
Deadite Mama for villain.
Oh, fucking A. Yeah,
I heard Sam.
Deadite Mama just
Yeah, I think she's a 10. So that's my thing, and I'm gonna say that for Ricky too because I know he thinks the same thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
me and Ricky both
for villain.
nominate her for the best villain in this shit. Yeah, she's dope as fuck.
Sam, do you have any other nominations?
I don't think I do, unless I don't know if the armless kid against the wall wasn't in. If I was supposed to laugh or not, because I have an unintentional laugh category.
Yes, you're supposed to laugh. That shit is fucking funny, dude. That's Evil Dead.
Well, then
Dead.
I don't have any more.
Awesome.
Well, the one thing I'll say at the end here is, and I'm honestly curious how you guys feel about this. Was this movie noticeably not scary?
Hard for me to say. I wouldn't say any more so than plenty of other horror movies.
Yeah, Sam's a big boy. He doesn't get scared too often. I will say, I mean,
white.
It's hard because I had a very full theater, so I didn't like. I don't know if I was in it like maybe more alone in the scenario. I could have been into the scene like where Deadite Mama's crawling on the walls and shit and sneaking up behind. I could have felt maybe some goosebumps behind that.
Oh, actually, that was in the trailer, and I wish I'm glad I didn't see that when she comes out of the attic,
right?
Behind her while she's listening. That I was like, ooh, yeah, that. So I guess I could see how that would be scary to somebody who wasn't a big boy like myself.
Lee Cronin also said that the cat's alive. If you're wondering.
Oh, good.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's not a dog.
I don't care.
I don't care. I don't find this any more scary than anything else, and that's hard to do. It ain't Skinamarink, bitch.
I will say I wasn't like
that's true.
I wasn't more scared in any other Evil Dead movie than so.
The OG fucked me up when I was a kid, and I still.
Well, that's the thing. I never saw it as a kid, so I saw all of these together. I feel like my fright level,
as a middle-aged man in one day.
Yeah, my fright level towards it was all pretty medium.
But to say it though, like if I would watch the original Evil Dead tonight, alone in the dark, it might creep me the fuck out. It really might, because
Well,
that movie fucked me up big time.
I think maybe that's my point, is that this movie didn't utilize what has been going on for the last 15 years in the jump scare for the hell of it. Like, it didn't really use that.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be a lot of that, actually.
So did I, and there was next to none. I mean, but then
there's
again,
a few, but
a few, but there was nothing
Not
that was like,
a
But
lot,
it wasn't
yeah.
just like,
not a lot of tension building and then
it
jump
wasn't
scare.
gratuitous jump scare.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Evil
so
Dead is the kind of franchise that, like, it gives you that slow start. It always does, to a degree.
I agree, but I've been more interested in the past.
In the what?
In the slow start, like
in the
I'm
past,
fine with starting slow. Yeah, in the past movies, I'm fine with the slow start because I like what I'm watching still.
Right. And
I really need to give it another shot because I might now. I'm not saying I don't.
I'm gonna too.
Don't
I'm
know.
gonna go see it again this week. Just I need to give it another chance. And honestly, and maybe because my theater was fucking packed to the gills. There was not a fucking empty seat in my theater. So
That's awesome.
I need a little for a horror movie. That's absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
I think to what Travis said and to what Brian said, maybe a little bit more personal time with it. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm easily distracted by things around me, and I lose.
Shiny.
Yeah,
Shiny.
exactly. So I'll be like, oh, then I totally missed something from the movie. But I had a fun time with I had a fun time with it throughout it. Yeah.
It was fun.
For sure. All right. That's a great place. Now that is a great place to end the Chuddle Club movie meeting. The Chuddle Movie Club meeting for tonight. Jesus Christ.
Nice.
Huge thanks to the Nightclub for jumping in here. Travis, Brent.
Absolutely, boys.
Travis
Absolutely.
Maxell Boone, apparently. Maxell, yeah, I'm Maxell.
Maxwell.
Sam always said it's Maxwell. He always says Travis Maxell, and I'm like, am I Kal-El? Am I fucking Krypton?
Oh, I put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable.
I love you for it, and every time I hear it, I'm just like, hell yeah, keep doing it. Well, you won't because no more Coven shout outs, but
oh no, you're gonna get him specifically now. And shout out to Max L.
Travis Kal-El.
I changed my name to Travis the Witch Plavis because of Chuddle the Pod. So everyone jump in that Chuddle the Pod fucking Discord. If you're a listener and you're not in there yet, what the fuck are you doing? Jump in for the fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah. You are not living your best life. I can give you that.
Damn not. Damn right.
We got the Chuddle games going. Like, it is a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you guys.
Discord, boy.
This was supposed to be about you guys right now, so thank you. Go listen to the
listen to them wherever you find podcasts.
Jump into their Discord, all that kind of shit, for sure. We love
for the
jumping
record,
over there.
For the record, Grindhouse Zombie is also here. Just saying.
I said your name. I said your name right after him.
But they all, but no, but
and then he jumped in with the Maxell.
He cut you off.
His thunder. I stole his thunder.
Maxell Cool J over there.
What the Chuddles really want is Ricky. He won't be here. He'll never be here. Apparently, he'll never come on the show again.
No, we got him on the Castle Freak. That was the last time we had him.
That's right.
So don't worry.
Oh, love that. Everyone go back and listen to Chuddle the Castle Freak, boy. Yeah.
Do it. All right. We're out of here. Don't forget about all the places to get at us. And until next time.
Mummy's with the maggots now.